Alright, what's happening, fam? L.A.R movement still moving. The black on black conversation. I think I did a video on like the fallacy of it, the BS with it. But I'm gonna deal with the truth in it too. You know, you know, some people have a point when they talk about we too violent amongst each other. I can't disagree with that. But I'm gonna expand it a little bit. As far as crime goes, um, there comes a point where you can't blame other people for the choices that you make in life. And you know, even if it's a setup, that doesn't mean you take the bait. Like watching that show Bait Car. Nobody told these people to jump in the car and try to steal it. They did that of their own free will. So when it comes to criminals and criminal activity, as far as black on black crime, it is a choice. You chose to be a criminal. That's what it is. Like, that's the lifestyle you chose. You can say some people, that's the lifestyle that they know and it's due to poverty. And I can understand that, but you can't. But using that same reference, you can't ignore all the people who grew up in poverty and not criminals. There are way more people who grew up in poverty and bad neighborhoods who are not criminals than the ones who are. So I'm just saying. Um, Gangs and drugs, right? How? Gang culture, as of now, it can be looked at as a surrogate to know order and structure, of fatherlessness. Now, you could blame that on the men, you could blame that on the women, but as a community, it's both our fault. So, you got criminal minded adults taking advantage of misguided kids in some cases. So, that's a community problem. The drug culture, I never understood it. I know about it, but I never understood it. And what I mean by that is how, what are you actually going to get out of it? See, most people who are nickel and dime, low level drug dealers are really not organized individuals. They're pretty much shoppers. Same thing with the guys that even are higher up than them. They're pretty much shoppers. Like these guys don't have an end game. They can't tell you, okay, after I make this amount of money, I'm gonna do this and do that and do that, and then they have no way to step away from the game. They have no legitimate business to fall back on a lot of times. It's just doing this street shit and no plan B. Or that wasn't the plan B, the plan A to begin with. It was just criminal activity, drugs, money, drugs, hoes, money, drugs, cars, go shopping with the money, get some shoes, spend it at a strip club, go out to eat, make myself important by buying some expensive shit, more drugs, more blah blah blah. It's just a silly cycle. That's why I never understood it. Because 9 times out of 10, even if you make it without going to jail or being killed, you probably find yourself out the game and being where you would have been if you were just working anyways. So it's a ridiculous risk to me. Um, and once again, that's a choice. You choose that lifestyle and everything that goes with it. Um, Past that, as a community, we got to stop coddling criminals because that's what we're doing a lot of times. We can't combat crime if we're coddling the people who do it, if we're making excuses for the people who do it, if we're not outcasting the people who do it. I mean, even if you want to be twisted about it and say, well, if y'all gonna do it, y'all need to give something back to the community. They ain't done that, and you don't have the people to muscle them to do that because you know a lot of the men in the neighborhood that would have either ran off the crime or made these criminals invest in the community. Y'all ran those type of guys off. Men and women. I'm not just like putting it on women on that. As far as propaganda, I think that's black on black too. You got the people who say, we can't be out here talking about racism and protesting that when we're not protesting what we're doing to each other. And they have a correct, absolute point. That is very true. You know, if somebody else kill us, then it's a big deal. If we kill each other, not so much. That's some bullshit. And for the people who get mad at those people for saying that, I understand why. Because just like those people who say that there may be black people. That's why I'm saying black on black. You know, they they are right in their assessment of black on black crime, but they are just as much coddling. Like I was talking about, our community coddling criminals. There's those type of people tend to coddle racism or racists because when something legitimate is brought up about racism, they never address racism. You know, church shooting, that's you black folks. That ain't got nothing to do with black folks. That's racism. Confederate flag talk, that's you black folks. You got nothing to do with that. Okay? Police brutality, that's because you black folks. See, okay, media propaganda, well, it's you black folks. See, that's coddling racism. In essence, you could say the black community is coddling criminals and you're black, but and on the flip side of that, black people can say you're coddling uh, racist. You coddling the Klan. Because nothing they can do no wrong, just like we feel like it's no big deal when we do no wrong. It's the same exact thing, just two different sides of the coin. Excuse me. Um, Parenting. I think it's criminal parenting going on out here, where you're seeing dumb people who should have never had kids let their kids just go on a free for all, fend for themselves. Bunch of lone wolves, bunch of latchkey kids out here being able to do whatever, whenever. And it's not the fact that they have kids out here like this, because they've always been kids like that. It's the fact that you give these kids so much. You give them cell phones and camera phones to film themselves doing dumb shit, and nobody sees the repercussions of this. I mean, that's criminal parenting to me. When these teenagers are fighting, going off fighting for dumb shit, filming each other. Teenagers, doing drugs, filming each other. Teenagers shooting guns, filming each other. And the question is asked, and the question is not asked where the parents at when these situations occur. The question is saying like these kids are ridiculous, they're savages. No, their parents are savages to basically enable them to do this type of shit. Just like on the flip side, when you see these parents, whipping their kids for doing something wrong, and then you got people, oh, you shouldn't do that. That is wrong. You shouldn't be hitting those kids like that. Maybe your anger is misplaced. At least, I mean, maybe you might feel like somebody shouldn't have been that extreme in their physicality, but those kids are gonna have to know there's consequences to their actions. And I mean, me as a person, I can deal with that. I mean, they know you can't do anything and get away with it. That's what I'm saying. Um, a little further about is school education, which is part of parenting. The school is not supposed to teach your kids manners. The school is supposed to educate your kids, but at the same time, you should be educating your kids to get them ready to be ahead in school. It's not like they go to school and when they get home they just do whatever. Like you're supposed to be, as a parent, making sure that they're you checking them and see if they're up to speed. And if they're up to speed, then you get them ahead of the curve. You don't just let them. Oh, let me see your report card. Good, just see her. You got to be the one to test them on stuff. You got to be the one to see where the thirst for knowledge is, you know. And past that, I say that because of this. We really have a lack of mentorship that can give these kids direction. So, and the fact that we don't know what our kids like a lot of times, and we don't point them in good directions. Sometimes we don't see what, oh, you like to fix cars. Oh, you like to do. Oh, you've been doing wood shop. You really like woodwork. Okay, well, you like metal fabrication. That's dope. All right, you like mathematics. Okay, oh, I see you kind of get into the stock channel at home. Okay, we can work with that. Like we're not we need to be more involved in figuring out what our kids like and being able to point them in that direction. That's a black on black crime to me. I'm just being honest. Now, I think, I guess I would say last but not least, but I'm gonna keep it short with this one. The generational disrespect has to go too. Because you can't have young people hating old people hating young people, men hating women, women hating men, kids hating their father, kids hating their mothers hating their kids, their fathers hating their kids. That shit has got to go. Because that's breeding a level of anger that creates a powder keg of destruction. So that's just my thoughts on that, man. Peace.